Hi Lovies! Welcome to my channel, Missy Journals. Today I'm going to be showing you how I collage journal. So I will be collage journaling in my nature journal about the day my friends and I went to Buttermilk Falls. And this place was very interesting because we found out through this brochure that I'm handling in my hand right now that Mr. Rogers, or Fred Rogers' grandfather, actually owned this property. And Fred, as a young boy, would play in these falls, and as an older man, he used to come there and sit amongst the falls, and that's actually where he got the inspiration and idea for his show. So how cool was that? So because that little brochure from Buttermilk Falls was packed full of information, I really wanted to include that in the nature journal without like cutting it apart or anything like that. And I'm going to show you how I add this brochure into the actual journal. But first, before I do that, I just wanted to make sure that it fit, and it did. I just had to trim it down a little bit, and from there I need to get my base pages, if you will, down, or base materials, I guess would be a better word, before we add all of the fun things. So I found this pretty paper that's kind of like mock wood, and it had a couple pretty moths on it. So I made sure to tear from that 12 by 12 away from the moths, because I actually have an idea to use those later in this project. But I really wanted that natural wood grain paper in sections of the journal, just to give it some natural element, if you will. And this is one of the things that's fantastic with collage journaling, is that you can just, I prefer, but you can cut paper if you like, but I like the tour look. I think it gives it more of a rustic and more of that collage look. And basically collage journaling is just a mismatch, or mosh posh, if you will, of things all just thrown together and put in beautiful style on your book. You really can't go wrong with collage journaling, because you're literally just making collages of like pictures and stickers and themed paper, and you're just trying to pull it all together, all these different elements, and you can either tie it in with a theme or a color or whatever it is that you really have in mind. So the brochure has kind of yellows and tans and browns, and of course greens going through it. So I try to use like journal cards and papers and things of that nature that have yellows and browns in it, and then I popped it with like a kind of muted blue-gray sparkly paper, as you can see here, again, that I'm going to rip. And then I picked all these things beforehand just to save my time. I like shopped my stash. So I picked a journal card in there that kind of had a map on front of it, and it says I'm here in the now, because this is where we went. And I thought a map was very appropriate because, you know, we had to find where we were going to Buttermilk Falls. And I'm actually going to use that little journal card as a flip up. And then I will have, that gives me double space, because then I'll be able to post a picture on there and then actually have space underneath. So I love flip ups or flip outs or tip outs. Those are great things to add when you are collage journaling. Remember, you're just making little, you're just trying to build off of something. So the main thing we're building off of is the brochure that says Buttermilk Falls. I'm trying to pull the colors from that into the other parts of the pages, and then you're just collaging. You're just making a mismatch of things in little areas, and that is why it's called collage journaling. And just some tips and tricks: you can pick materials. Of course, you can use stickers, torn paper, like I have here, a brochure, magazine clippings, stickers, washi, journaling cards. You don't even have to use a whole journaling card. If you really like a design of a journaling card, rip it up, put it in there. You're also going to see that I'm going to be pulling out very shortly here. I have this little package that just has like, I don't know, 50 or 60 so of all these different colored strips and circled sticker paper, and I rip all that up and use it kind of like mock washi, and that's how I pull all these different yellows and browns into the page, and you'll see that. So I'm really not doing like a theme, so to speak, like water or waterfall or something of that nature. I'm kind of doing more of a brown, yellow, pulled in with a little bit of blue theme in this particular collage in my nature journal. And then another tip is that if you use a sticker that you want to kind of like pull outside of that flip up, as you're going to see, I'm actually going to have to take my scissors and just cut a little piece of that clock down so that when I pull the flip up down, that part of the sticker still stays in the journal, but the other portion of the clock will flip up and down, and you'll see me do that in a second. But you just want to work with your collages and just bring in all different kinds of elements. And because it is in my nature journal, I try to incorporate as much nature-y, if that's even a word, thing as I can. And while we were there, which I will journal about later, we saw all different kinds of birds and really pretty butterflies. We actually sat on this bench and there was like 4 butterflies that were around us the whole time, and there was these beautiful birds in the trees. So that's why I'm using my nature element. I'm using butterflies, and I picked butterflies that had yellow in it, and birds, because that's what we saw while we were at Buttermilk Falls. So anything that's like really reminiscent to you, anything that you really want to stand out, you're just going to add and make pretty collages with it. And as you can see, as I'm pulling down that flip up, it pulls the sticker up off the page. So I just have to snip the sticker so that that one part will stay on the journal and the other part will bend up and down with the flip up and down. So very easy. And then I like how it shows on the little side over there, because that's what collage journaling is. It's like, oh, I'm going to flip this up and there's a little surprise underneath. So collage journaling is a lot of fun because you get to use all different kinds of things to bring color, to bring life to your page, and I have so much fun with it. And for me, it's like the more the better. Now, I also have this adorable little envelope that I really, really wanted to include in this particular journaling space, and I'm like, where am I going to put this? Because this was my intention. I kind of thought in my head, this is where I'm going to stick my journaling card, is in the envelope, but I don't want to take up this huge space. So I was like, wow, if I stuck the envelope portion behind the brochure, then the flap will still stick out and I will be able to tuck, like I'm tucking my journaling card behind the brochure. So that is exactly what I did. So I put some tape down the brochure, stuck the envelope behind it so that the flap overlays it, then put more tape down, and then that's how I'm going to add the brochure into this particular page and still have a space where I can tuck in a journaling card. So I thought that worked out perfect, and then it brings a little bit of color, a little bit of life, a little bit of fun, if you will, to the brochure itself. And then here are those papers that I was talking about. They're actually stickers. They just look like as you can see, dots and squares and things like that. Somebody gifted that to me a long time ago, and I use them all the time because they are so stinking cute. They're like I said, like mock washi, but they have different thicknesses, and some of them are even circles. So I'm going to use them all throughout this journaling page. And then I have these beautiful, what they call like rice paper stickers. I got them from a YouTuber here, of course, on YouTube. Her name is Natasha, and her channel is Journey of Crafting. And she does these awesome sales, and I got these awesome rice paper stickers from one of her craft sales. And I'm going to use a couple of those throughout this spread as well. And I'm just going to stop talking for a minute, if it's possible, and just let you enjoy how I bring some more life by adding pictures and such to this page, and I'll be back in a moment. So this is where I'm going to begin to incorporate some of those moths into my layout here. And I'm also going to cut a large portion where the big blue moth was. And I'm actually going to use that a little bit later. You're going to see, I think I'm picking it up now. Yes, I'm going to use that right there for my journaling card that I'm actually going to insert, as you can see, into the envelope, and it looks like I'm tucking it behind the brochure. I just love that. And then I'm going through and I'm adding more of those different colored yellows. Some are darker, some are lighter yellows, all throughout to bring those pops of yellows and browns throughout the page. I'm also going to bring out some of these beautiful nature stickers that I picked up, you'll never guess where, from the Dollar Tree. These stickers are gorgeous. There's actually one that I'm going to use here in a moment that has a journaling space on it, and I'm actually going to write a little bit on it. I do recommend that if you do write on your stickers or anything like that, you use a Sharpie, because if you use any kind of pen, even a really good Tombow or anything like that, they smear. It's because there's like a glossy finish on stickers. So I always recommend use a Sharpie for those. Don't put a Sharpie inside your journaling paper because it will definitely bleed through to the other side. But on journaling cards and like stickers and such, Sharpies are definitely the way to go. So here it is. I'm getting my Sharpie out and I'm going to write on this beautiful little sticker, just a quick little something about me and Lisa being at this beautiful fall. And I'm going to stick it up there by that other moth. And I'm loving how this is turning out, and I can't believe I got these beautiful nature stickers from the Dollar Tree. So don't ever think that you can't find beautiful supplies to put in your journal from like the Dollar Tree. You can get beautiful stuff for cheap, and you can incorporate that kind of stuff in anything. I use those stickers also like in my Bible journaling. I don't usually use stickers in my bullet journal. Usually my bullet journal is all my own hand-drawn kind of things, but I use those stickers in like almost all of my journaling, and you can't beat stickers for $1, especially that beautiful. So guys, and you can make your own journaling card. You don't have to buy these like, I think they're called My Memories or something of that nature is usually where you get journaling cards. As you saw, I cut the corner out of that beautiful paper that had the moths on it, and I made my own journaling card. So if you're like myself and you have tons of craft paper laying around, don't be afraid to use that and make your own journaling card. And if you have beautiful craft paper that kind of is plain on the top, you can, collage on top of the journaling card as well. So use stickers, use washi, use stamps, whatever you have, and make the top of your or the front, if you will, of your homemade journaling card beautiful. Collage it as well. Have a blast, have fun, use elements from all different kinds of things, and you'll see how it all pulls together. My only recommendation is that when you do collage, pick a theme, whether it's like I'm doing all bikes, or I'm doing all flowers, or I'm doing all roses, or you're doing like a color. Like mine's like that brown and yellow and kind of like blue. I'm trying to pull blues, yellows, and browns together. So, and I'm telling you, collage journaling is so much fun because you get to use a whole bunch of everything. And it's like a mismatch of all kinds of stuff, but by the end of it, it just all pulls together and looks beautiful. Sometimes I'm so amazed. And I also have a blast beforehand, the portion you didn't see, going through all of your supplies, shopping your stash, if you will, and finding all these things that you can use on your page that will pull it all together. And then once you see how it all comes together, you're like, wow, this actually looks really good. So I'm going to be finishing up here. I'm just adding a few more elements, butterflies, more birds, things like that. I want to add those moths on there because I love the yellow. And then I'm going to actually go off screen. I think it's very boring for you to watch me journal, but of course it's a journal page, so I have to journal. So I'm going to re-pull out my journaling card that I made. I'm going to journal on it. I'm going to journal on the few spaces that are on my flip out, and I will come back to show you that in a moment. And here we are. This is the finished product. I think it turned out so pretty. So I'm going to do my flip up here. I journaled in those 2 little white spaces on that journaling card. I think that just finished that off. I love how that looks. Off to the side there, I put a little quote that says, "A day in nature is a day well spent." I think that is very, very fitting. And then here is my homemade journaling card that I took off the corner of that large 12 by 12 sheet. I journaled all about the day, added another one of those really pretty rice paper stickers in the corner, and 2 more of those like yellow mock washi just to pull that card in as well. And guys, voila, there it is. Gorgeous, beautiful, and I have the whole brochure in there as well. So I think it worked out really, really well. Collage journaling is so much fun. If you've never done it before, I so encourage you to try. I hope this gives you some hints and tips and tricks. I thank you so much for spending this time with me. I wish you well and happy journaling. I will see you next time. Until then, journal what you love. Bye guys.